Everybody, Eric, and this is an Honest 5 for November 30th, 2018. So someone replied actually to my video yesterday and said, you talked about these cards all the time and you didn't actually show them. I don't know how well they're going to show up, but I thought I would show them before I head out to the tournament today. So, first read the stuff I got signed from Arcade Post. If you played during Urza Saga, Morphling was a hell of a card, and while I didn't have any of my originals, I did get one out of a little raffle thing in Japan, so I have the one, and I definitely had to have them sign it, so I got that right there. Fulminator Mage, I think what Arcade Post started doing is a really cool idea. I noticed he had a bunch of little cards with check marks on them, or well, tally marks on them, and so I have Fulminator Mage, the Modern Masters 2 edition, number 1900 and 1597 through 1600. So it's kind of cool that I actually know like what number sign. So someone's out there with the first one signed. He wrote the date on it as well. Then I got, just because I know it's used in Legacy from time to time, I got some Fairy Macabres signed. I got a couple copies of Worship pretty cheap, 7th edition Worships. Those are pretty nice. I mean, some of the better 7th edition art for sure. For my friend's son, who likes Arbor Elf, and he uses one Arbor Elf on his deck. I wish I had 4, but I can only get 3 Japanese, but I have 3 Japanese and 1 English. But that's cool because then his son, can remember what one does, and the other 3, are in English and Japanese. They look cool. But this is 57, 58, 59, and 60. So I really got hitting up with the round numbers on this. But yeah, these are lower. He doesn't get these signed as often, obviously. But that's pretty cool. My brother wanted some for a friend of his, so I got some Lightning Angels. These are older. These are actually Apocalypse, and so he doesn't number these. These are a bit older. I guess he started doing the number thing recently, but that's still a pretty cool idea. So that was the stuff I got started by Arcade Post. He was really awesome. Talking to him for a little bit was really cool. He was probably one of the cooler ones. I think he ran his booth the best out of everyone. Next, I went to and got stuff signed by Mark Poole. I think I talked about that yesterday. Chatting with him was really, really awesome. One thing I had to get signed was my friend Paul got me into Magic, so I got Stormseeker signed. That was probably one of his favorite arts. So I asked if I could get a little message written on it. So he got to Paul with a bunch of exclamation marks and then Mark Poole's signature. My islands I took a picture of yesterday, but they're on Twitter. But then I got, of course, the classics, Counterspell and Birds of Paradise. Then I went, and the one I waited for the longest, 3 hours, was for Mark Tedin, which I learned that's how you pronounce his name apparently. But of course another classic, and the same for my buddy Paul, who will watch this video. That's a secret, but I don't think he'll see it. He doesn't use Twitter. I'll put this on Facebook, and got a nice fireball in Japanese for him. And then Antiquities War, just I love the art on that. And there's some Legacy decks that use it. A classic, and one of the first arts that really grossed me out was Brain Geyser with a split brain. Another classic that I used a lot. I wish I had an older copy of it to get signed, but I didn't want to spend that much because I don't really use the card, Winter Warp. I mean, I did use it when I played Canadian Threshold, but I had to pick this up. I didn't have one, but an older Soul Ring. I was not going to pay for anything other than a white-bordered one. And then I believe these are Spanish, but I have a Spanish Mana Crypt and a Spanish Mana Vault, and so I got those signed as well. I already had Spanish because Mana Vault's really expensive. I mean, Mana Crypt rather. Mana Vault is slightly pricey. It could be pricey. And then the last one is Steve Argyle, who I think had the coolest signing thing. The saddest thing is I waited for a signing the whole time, and then I'm walking, I'm holding like the Ponder that he signed because they were signed with like a special ink. And for whatever reason, I didn't put my other cards in my box. I should have done that. And then I dropped them, so the corner on all these cards got a little bent. thankfully not super bent, like they're damaged now, if that sucks. But it includes 3 of my 4 Lilianas of the Veil. I don't plan on selling them. I plan on keeping them. That's why I got them signed. But it does suck that this happened. And I also learned something which I'll tell the last one. And I really like the way he does his signatures because, one, he uses a color pen based on the color of the card. So you'll see here with Monastery Swiftspear. And these are also playable, these, because I did check them in sleeves and you can't tell the bend. They just got a little, they're just marked on it. But anyway, so like with Monastery Swiftspear's red card, writes his signature in red. But then you get stuff like blue-red cards, multicolor cards, and so he has Steve in red and Argyle in blue. It looks really nice. You get something like Liliana of the Veil. You got a nice purple on that. He has so many alterations of this one though. Like he had like a stack of like requested alterations that he was working on in between signatures. It was crazy. So anyway, I showed the German ones, the German Enigma Drakes. Right now, there's a thing going around that when we were waiting in line, they gave us an eraser and has erased part of the Japanese cards, so that were pros because they were printed differently. That makes things stuff. I erased pretty hard, but even still, my Japanese Enigma Drakes, as you can see, the signature actually it looks pretty good in the video. I can see a little more on this one right here. The signature already, like I guess, just in carrying the cards, they got a little rubbed off. There was no ink on the back of the cards, but it just got messed up. So if you do get Japanese cards signed, it depends on what they're getting signed with and what, it can be a little harder. Oh, and last one is, Legacy Day. Same from Steve Argyle is the Ponders, which probably might be my favorite signatures out of what I got. Because he does a really slick silver, like I said, no more on that, but since the full art Ponders, it's really slick silver. Nice silver signature. It really adds a nice little touch to the Ponders. Since I'm in here, I might as well show off. I got my Beta Island signed by Mark Poole. Those are really, that's a real glare on that one. These are sleeved up for the tournament today. So those look really nice. And I guess last thing, I'm already running late on the video, but one last thing was pretty cool. One little funny story was, the artists usually are chatting with people or stuff like that, but lots, people are Japanese, so they don't really, they talk a little bit to their Japanese, people who want stuff signed, but they can't talk too much, obviously, because not everyone speaks a lot of English. So there'll be a lot of chat between them and the other booth people. And the funny thing was, Steve Argyle was talking about how he got a credit card fraud thing from the company, and they're like, "Is this your signature?" And he's like, "Well, that's my artistic signature, but that is not my signature." So apparently someone got his credit card information and tried to use it, and they signed with his artistic signature. They copied the artistic signature, thinking it would fly. And when the company called him, they're like, "No." He's like, "No, that's not my signature." Obviously, he used his real signature on the cards. You see everyone has their artistic signature. But I thought that was a funny little story that, someone actually tried to use that signature and it did not fly. Anyway, wow, 8 minutes here, so I got to get running. Not 5 minutes today, but time to head for the tournament. Wish me luck. Peace out, everybody.